Welcome, everyone, to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the deeply psychological, absolutely captivating opening chapters of Hermann Hesse's masterpiece, Demian. This is one of those stories that has just stuck with readers for generations. Why? Because it tackles something every single one of us goes through. That painful, terrifying, but totally necessary process of growing up and figuring out who we really are.
Hesse had this core belief, perfectly captured by the idea that each person is a unique experiment of nature. He didn't think the ultimate goal of human existence was to become some perfect ideal, or to just blindly follow the crowd. No, it's about embarking on the really difficult journey of finding your true, unique self. He believed we're all cast from the exact same mold, sure, but each of us is an unrepeatable intersection of life. To truly live, we have to stop trying to be what everyone else expects us to be and actually start listening to our own inner voice.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be moving from the unique human existence through the realm of light and the realm of darkness, into the apple theft lie, getting trapped by blackmail, and finally, the journey to the true self.
Okay, starting off with Section 1, the unique human existence and the philosophy of the individual. We begin with the really profound framework Hesse sets up right in the prologue.
The big takeaway here is that every single person is a completely unrepeatable phenomenon. Hesse argues that humanity isn't just one giant collective mass. Yes, we all share the exact same origin, we come from the same deep abyss of nature, but we each have to strive toward our own destiny instead of just mimicking the masses. He actually points out that a lot of people never truly become themselves. Some remain frogs, some remain ants, simply because, well, it's just easier to blend in. But the real goal? That's individuation, forging your own distinct path. Moving to Section 2, the realm of light, or the parents' world. To understand just how tough that journey is, we need to meet our protagonist, 10-year-old Emil Sinclair. Sinclair's baseline reality is his completely safe, totally sanitized world defined by his parents' house. It's a world built on absolute duty, religion, cleanliness, and strict order. He describes it as having this soft, warm glow, a place where his sisters fit in perfectly among morning hymns, Christmas parties, and impeccable morals. In this realm, your future is beautifully mapped out. If you follow the rules, wash your hands, and say your prayers, your success is essentially guaranteed. It feels incredibly safe, but as we're going to see, it's also incredibly fragile.
Which brings us to Section 3, the realm of darkness, the outside world. Because right outside his front door, and sometimes creeping into the house itself, is a second world that demands completely different things.
This is the central tension of Sinclair's early life. On one side, you've got the realm of light with its dutiful parents and guaranteed future. On the absolute flip side, the realm of darkness, crime, slaughterhouses, drunkards, and ruthless violence. And the terrifying part for young Sinclair is that these opposing forces literally touch. For example, their family maid, Lena, will sit in the evening singing wholesome hymns, fully part of the light. But moments later in the shadows, she's whispering dark, terrifying ghost stories, plunging right back into the darkness. The walls keeping him safe, they aren't nearly as thick as his parents pretend they are.
So it really begs the question, why are we so deeply drawn to the dark? Even though Sinclair knows his ultimate goal is to be a pure, respectable adult, he feels this terrifying magnetic pull toward the forbidden outside world. He admits that the squeaky clean world of his home sometimes feels suffocating, while that chaotic, rough world outside, it's intensely fascinating. It's that universal human instinct, the sheer allure of the forbidden.
Section 4, the apple theft lie, and a desperate need to belong. That dangerous curiosity leads to a fateful afternoon by the riverbank, where these two worlds finally collide. Enter Franz Kromer. He's 13, the son of an alcoholic tailor, and he essentially embodies the realm of darkness. He's tough, he's dominant, and he swaggers around like a menacing adult. Now picture 10-year-old Sinclair hanging out with this rough public school crowd. Coming from his clean-cut background, Sinclair feels totally alienated and, honestly, just desperately insecure. Desperate to impress Kromer and mask that insecurity, Sinclair does something incredibly foolish. It's so typical for a 10-year-old, right? He invents a massive lie. He brags that he pulled off this daring heist, stealing a whole sack of premium apples from the local mill owner. He spins this wild, elaborate tale, totally immersing himself in the fantasy, all just to win a fleeting second of respect from these older boys. Section 5, trapped by blackmail. This is where the trap snaps shut, because Kromer weaponizes this childish lie in a matter of seconds.
It is wild how fast this escalates. First, Kromer completely isolates Sinclair and forces him to swear to God that the theft actually happened. The second Sinclair commits that sin of taking a false oath, Kromer flips the script. He threatens to march right to the mill owner and turn Sinclair in. Then the extortion starts. Kromer demands hush money. Sinclair, in an absolute panic, realizes he doesn't have a dime, so he desperately hands over his only valuable possession, his broken silver watch. Kromer pockets it but makes it painfully clear that they are far from done. Kromer demands a ransom of 2 marks. Now, for a young boy back then, 2 marks is an absolute fortune. It's impossible. Sinclair has literally nothing left. With this demand, Kromer completely shatters Sinclair's sense of safety. Sinclair realizes with pure horror that he can never go back to the unblemished realm of light. In the eyes of the world, he is now a sinner, a liar, and a thief. He's been entirely cut off from his parents' safe haven. Which brings us to our final section, Journey to True Self, Breaking the Binary. This devastating blackmail isn't just schoolyard bullying, it's the ultimate catalyst for Sinclair's psychological awakening. Here's the crucial thing. Sinclair can't just run crying to his parents anymore. He's sinned. He's fallen into the dark. Now he has to face the brutal reality of growing up. This is the very beginning of his individuation, that complex psychological journey where you have to integrate your light and dark sides to become a genuinely unique, independent person. He's learning the hard way that the world isn't just safe hymns and clean hands. The world has teeth. So what does this actually mean for him? It means Sinclair can no longer hide in the conventional light of his parents' morality, but at the exact same time, he has to fight tooth and nail to keep from being totally consumed by the darkness that Kromer represents. He is forced into this highly uncomfortable middle space where he has to synthesize his very own independent morality. Rejecting both the purely innocent world and the purely corrupt one is the only way he can achieve true self-actualization. And it's exactly this agonizing, lonely struggle that perfectly sets the stage for a mysterious older boy who is about to change his life forever, Max Demian. It all leaves us with a pretty profound realization. Growing up isn't about staying perfectly clean, and it isn't about rebelling just for the sake of rebelling. It's about navigating the dark to figure out who you truly are. So I want to leave you with this thought. To finally discover your own true, unique self, which comfortable world in your life must you be willing to leave behind? Thank you so much for joining me as we explore this brilliant story. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.